So good morning to all of you. Today's lecture is on motor cortex and descending tracts. In that we are going to cover today the motor cortex. In the previous lecture, in the sensory system, what we have learned is that what is meant by central nervous system, how the central nervous system is classified, what is the basic structure of the nervous system. Then we have seen what is meant by synapse, what are the properties of synapse, types of synapse. Then we have also seen what is meant by receptor, different kinds of receptor like Mesoneurus corpuscle, then Merkus dips, free nerve ending. For temperature receptor also we have seen cold receptor and warm receptor. Then we have seen how the various sensory information is carried via different tracts. That tracts are called as ascending tracts. Okay, and that ascending tracts again further classify into dorsal column pathway, then anterolateral spinothalamic tract, sensory. That tracts end over the sensory cortex. Okay, so that, as you know, that sensory cortex are nothing but the area number 312, which is present in the parietal lobe. Then we have also seen what is analgesic system for pain pathway. Okay, then muscle spindle, which is again one of the receptor for the both sensory and the motor system. Muscle spindle. We have seen what are the different group 1A fiber, group 2 fiber. Then we have seen what is by spinal reflex, different spinal reflex present in the spinal cord. Okay, so let us start with the today with our one of the components of the motor system, central nervous system, that is called as motor system. So what we are going to learn in the motor system, that are nothing but the motor cortex, descending tracts, muscle spindle, cerebellum, basilar ganglia, muscle tone, posture, equilibrium, and reticular activating system. Okay, so today we are going to start the motor cortex. What are the different components of the motor cortex? Before starting with the motor cortex, we should know what is meant by cerebral hemisphere, what are the parts of the cerebral hemisphere, various lobes of the cerebral hemisphere, what are the different Brodmann's area and their functions. So let's start with the first, what is meant by cerebral hemisphere. There are two cerebral hemispheres which are separated at the upper part by middle longitudinal fissures and lower part by the corpus callosum. Each cerebral hemisphere have three poles, three surfaces, and three borders. The three poles are frontal pole, occipital pole, and temporal pole, while three surfaces are superolateral surface, medial surface, and inferior surface. Three borders are superior-medial, inferolateral, and inferior-medial. That is what I am going to show you in your in the diagram. What are the different poles, surface, and borders? Entire cerebral hemisphere is covered by the layer of neuron that is called as cerebral cortex, which is having 2 to 4 millimeter thickness. And each cerebral hemisphere, you know that there are some depression and elevations are there, that is called as sulci and gyri. You may have MCQ on this. The surface area of the cerebral cortex is around 20 to 100 centimeters square. So you can see that there are three poles, that is frontal pole anteriorly. In between the occipital pole and frontal pole, you have occipital pole. And this is a temporal pole, and this is a occipital pole. So these are the three poles present in each cerebral hemisphere. Then what are the three surfaces? The superolateral surface, inferior surface, and medial surface. So these are the three surfaces. This is the medial surface, this is the superolateral, this is the inferior surface. Three borders are superomedial border, inferolateral border, and the inferior-medial border. So these are the three surfaces, three border, and three poles. Each cerebral hemisphere, these two cerebral hemispheres are separated at the anterior, superiorly by the longitudinal fissures and inferiorly by the corpus callosum. Okay, so this is about the cerebral hemisphere. Now let us see what are the different poles, that is, what are the different lobes present in the each cerebral hemisphere. That are nothing but the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe. As we have already seen in the sensory system, the parietal lobe, area number 312, these are the main sensory area present in the parietal lobe, while frontal lobe are mainly deal with the motor functions. Then temporal lobe for hearing and occipital lobe is for mainly for the vision. You know that there are Brodmann's area, different areas present over the in the each lobe of the cerebral hemisphere. That area is called as Brodmann's area. The motor area, these are nothing but the primary motor area, area number 4, premotor area, area number 6, frontal eye field area, area number 8, and supplementary motor area. While sensory area, you know that there are sensory area, that's area number 3, 1, 2, primary somatic area, area number 5 and 7, somatic association area, higher association area, and supplementary somatosensory area. So these are the sensory area, while auditory area are area number 41, 42, and the 22. Visual area are 17, 18, and 19. These are, you may have one MCQ on this. What are the different auditory area, visual area, motor space area, or primary motor area? Smell area is 28, and gusset area, taste sensitive area is 43. So you can see that these are the different Brodmann's area. Area number 4, 6, and 8. This is the primary motor cortex area. This is the central circles. In front of central circles, frontal lobe is there, and that is there are different motor area are there. Okay, while 3, 1, 2, these are the sensory area. Now, as like that of the parietal lobe, like sensory system, sensory cortex, the representation of body part is upside down, inverted manner in the parietal lobe. Same thing is there for the motor cortex. The body is represented, each and every body part is represented is upside down. That is from leg, feet, trunk, arm, head, face, mouth, like this. Okay, this is about the body representation over the frontal area or motor area, primary motor cortex area, and supplementary motor area and premotor area. Okay. Again, same thing. What are the different representation of body parts over the motor area, starting from the primary motor cortex area to premotor area and the supplementary motor area. Okay. And these are the other areas related to the speech area, vision area, upside down, inverted manner, starting from legs to the face. This is the inverted representation of our body parts over the motor area. So let's start first with the frontal lobe. As the frontal lobe is mainly for the motor cortex, so we are going to see in detail about the frontal lobe. So it lies in front of central circles, that is area number 4, 6, mainly 8. And it contains two important structures that is called precentral cortex and the prefrontal cortex. Precentral cortex, which is present in the posterior part of the frontal lobe, and the scientists found out that stimulation of this area will lead to the activity of discrete skeletal muscles. Okay, that is also called as excitomotor area. So this is about the area number 4, 6. Area number 4 is primary motor area, precentral cortex area. As some scientists also found out that stimulation of motor areas also causes some sensory perception. And that's why nowadays this area is also called as sensory motor cortex area. And what are the areas present in the precentral cortex? These are nothing but the primary motor area, area number 4, premotor area, area number 6, and supplementary motor area. These are the three main areas present in the precentral cortex. Now, second part of the frontal lobe is prefrontal cortex, also called as orbitofrontal cortex or prefrontal lobe. Now, there are different areas present in this prefrontal cortex. These are nothing but the anterior part of the frontal lobe. Again, area number 8 and 44. Then area number 9 to 14. Then you have area number 32, 44, 47. So these are the different areas present in the prefrontal cortex. We will see in the next lecture what are the different functions of this individual area. What are the different connections present in the prefrontal lobe? As you know that there are different, like in case of parietal lobe, we have thalamus send the signal to the sensory cortex area. Same thing for the prefrontal lobe, there are different area and it have a different afferent and efferent connections. So what are the different afferent connections received by this prefrontal lobe? That are nothing but mainly from the thalamus, nucleus of thalamus, dorsomedial and anterior nucleus of thalamus. But efferent connections, nothing but from this area, motor cortex area, they will send motor information to the other part of the area. So that efferent connections are maybe to the basal ganglia, that is part of the caudate nucleus, part of the basal ganglia, frontoponderant tracts. These are mainly the descending tracts, okay, from the cortex to the spinal cord, from cortex to the other part of the brain. That is called as internuclear connections. Then tegmentum of the midbrain, thalamic nuclei, two mammillary bodies of the hypothalamus, area number 32, 18, visual auditory area. These are the intercortical connections. So these are the different efferent connections from the motor cortex area. All the, it's suppose area number 4, 6, 8. From this area, they will send motor information to the other part of the brain or to the spinal cord. So what are the functions of the prefrontal lobe? The main function is planning. It is helpful to plan the complex pattern of movements and sequence of motor movements. They also have main function is higher functions. That is, it is helpful for emotions, learning, memory, and social behavior. It is also the center for intelligence. It is helpful for coding some information and for short-term memory. Control of intellectual activities like mathematical, solving some mathematical problems. Then influence on ANS, that is a sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, social behavior, and personality development. So these are the main functions of the frontal lobe. You may have a short answer question. Write down the functions of the frontal lobe. So you should know what are the components of the frontal lobe and what are the area present in the frontal lobe and what are the main functions of the frontal lobe. So the motor cortex. There are different areas of the motor cortex present in the frontal lobe. Mainly the primary motor cortex area, also called PMC, that is area number 4. It lies in front of the precentral gyrus sulci, that is nothing but the precentral gyrus. Contains all 6 layers. You know that the cortex, cerebral cortex, sensory cortex and motor cortex, it have 6 type of layer. So that 6 layer form the different layer over that hemisphere, which is called as cortex. So main cells present in the motor cortex, that is called as pyramidal cells, that is base cells. The topographical representation, that is different parts of the central half of the body, opposite half of the body, are represented separately in more or less inverted manner. That means suppose right half of the motor cortex, primary motor cortex, which represent the left half of the body, and vice versa. That is the left half of the motor cortex represent the right half of the body. So, as is inverted manner, upside down. And what are the functions of this primary motor cortex area? That is the initiation of fine motor movement, like writing, driving skill, fine motor movements. Okay. Initiation of gross voluntary movements of opposite half of the body. This is again main functions of the motor cortex, primary motor cortex area. Then second is premotor area, area number 6, 8, 44, and 45. Again, representation is upside down, topographical representation. And what is the main functions? Movements of the muscle groups to perform a specific task, either flexor group of muscle or extensor group of muscle. This is done by the premotor cortex area. It is also involved in integration of voluntary movements. The initiation of that skillful movements is function of the primary motor cortex area, but that skillful movement is accurate or smooth. This is done by the premotor area. Okay, and this is work with association with the other motor area and the extrapyramidal system. Supplementary motor area, again it is a topographic representation upside down. Stimulation upon elicit bilateral movements, and it will main function of this supplementary motor area. It will provide fixation or positional movement for the body for doing the voluntary movements or fine skillful movement. Okay, so the main function is support while doing the supplementary, while doing the fine movements or the gross movements. This is a function of the supplementary motor area. Now, afferent for the motor cortex area, that is mainly the sensory area, from the sensory area of parietal cortex, also from the thalamus of ventral anterior and lateral nucleus of the thalamus, and from the opposite half of the body or opposite cerebral hemisphere. That is called subcortical fibers to the corpus callosum. The efferent of the motor cortex area is called as descending tracts. That is called as pyramidal tracts. Okay. Also, the descendings are nothing but the collaterals from the pyramidal tracts. That is to the basal ganglia, to the red nucleus, to the reticular substance of the midbrain pons and medulla, vestibular nuclei, pons, and inferior olivary nuclei. So these are the different efferent connections from the area number 4 or 6. That is the primary motor area, supplementary motor area, and premotor area. It will send motor information to the different parts like spinal cord, then different parts of the brain, like basal ganglia, red nucleus, reticular substances, vestibular nuclei. The different other specialized area present in the motor cortex, these are called as Broca's area, is mainly for the speech. Then you have eye fixation and head rotation area, is mainly for the coordination movements of the head and eye movements, like looking upward, looking laterally, sideways. Hand skill area, I'll say this is again more helpful for the hand movements, fine hand movements during any activity. So briefly, the cerebral cortex, that is both sensory and the motor cortex, it have 6 layers, and the various cells present, they are called as granular cells, fusiform cells, pyramidal cells. Granular cells form the short axon. You know that what are the different types of axons. Short axon is nothing but they connect different neurons in the vicinity. That is, they are within the brain only. That is called as short axon. They connect the different part of the cortex. They are both excitatory, that is glutamate, and inhibitory, that is GABA. Long axon, that is a pyramidal cells and fusiform cells, they form the long axon. That means they connect the brain to the spinal cord. That is, it requires long axon. So the pyramidal cells and fusiform cells, neurons, they form the long, they carry the motor information via the long axon, while the granular cells, with the help of short axon, they carry information within the brain only. That is either excitatory or inhibitory. So these 3 nuclei, 3 neurons, that is a granular, fusiform, and pyramidal, they form 6 type of layer. And what are the main functions of these 6 type of layer? Like for example, in the sensory cortex, area number 312, they are mainly the layer number 1 and layer number 2. These are for intracortical connection. Then layer number 4, layer number 1, 2, 3, they are intercortical connection, and layer number 3, 4, they mainly receive the signals from the other parts of the body. That is mainly sensory area, sensory receptor. While the large area number 5, brainstem area, and brainstem and spinal cord area, and area number 6 and A and 6B, they send motor information to the cortex. That is output from the cortex to the other parts of the body. That is called as, that is efferent. That is output is mainly from the layer number 5 and layer number 6. So these are the different neurons which are present in both sensory cortex and the motor cortex. So starting from the layer number 1 to layer number 6. So layer number 5 and 6, they are mainly for the efferent connections, efferent neuron. They present mainly the efferent neuron, base cells, pyramidal cells. Okay. While the layer number 1, 2, 3, they are mainly the cortical connection, and the other layer number 4 is mainly for the efferent. So this is the signals from the different receptors. Okay. So these are the different layers present in the cerebral cortex. Again, different diagram. So what are the different MCQs? The primary motor cortex area, following the primary motor cortex area number 4, 45, area number 3, and area number 21. So you should know the answer now. Following is the main functions of the frontal lobe. The word is missing, frontal lobe. Following is the main functions of frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is missing here. So motor function, sensory function, hearing, and vision. So you should write that answer. Write down short note on motor cortex, functions of frontal lobe. So this is about the motor cortex. In the next lecture, we are going to see about how the different descending tracts arising from the different, that is primary motor cortex area, supplementary motor area, and premotor area, and what are the different functions of that descending tracts. Okay. Thank you.